Hello, you're watching Taking a Break with Kazu, and today I'd like to do an album review on the new Explosions in the Sky album, The Wilderness. Explosions in the Sky is a post-rock band from Austin, Texas, and this is their 7th full-length album. They have been making music since the early 2000s. It's been 5 years since their last album, Take Care, Take Care, Take Care. And I believe it took them a while for them to release this because they've been so involved in composing movie soundtracks. For those who never heard of this band before, they make instrumental rock music filled with eccentric guitar work and build-up. It's very emotional and uplifting music. This band is labeled as post-rock, and I do believe it's an interesting genre. However, the problem is that if any band follows the formula for creating this type of music, then most likely it can sound the same as any other post-rock bands. And I'm not saying that all post-rock bands sounds the same, but it's really a challenge for a band to have their own sound, and it's also a challenge for them to create something that's interesting enough where listeners won't have to tune out during one epic track. Despite of those challenges, there are bands that was able to create their own distinctive sound. For example, Godspeed You Black Emperor, This Will Destroy You, Caspian, Mono, Mogwai, who's been doing it way before Explosions, and also Slint, same thing too. And they all have an audience. With Explosions, I would say they are one of, or probably the most popular band within this genre because of how much recognition they got within this last decade by releasing solid albums and getting their music featured on TV shows and movies like Friday Night Lights. My friend told me that this was a gateway band for him to get into post-rock, and I agree. It did for me, and I most likely probably did for a lot of people. Their album, All of a Sudden I Miss Everyone, was the peak of their best sound in my opinion. It was a great combination of awesome guitar melodies that Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place had, and the heaviness of Those Who Tell the Truth put together in one album. It was a cool progression for the band because it brought out so much emotion and intensity in one record. The album after that, Take Care, Take Care, Take Care, there were some cool tracks and some experimentation with their sound, but I didn't think it was mind-blowing. The band still had the same sound, but it wasn't interesting or exciting, except for that song Lemme Back, and that was a really dope track. I really enjoyed the layers of melancholy guitar leads over this hip-hop style beat that they incorporated. It can almost pass as a trip-hop song. That moment in the album showed me how this band can try something different, and for this new album I was hoping that they'll be able to bring out something new on the table, and in fact they did. However, the album didn't click with me as much. I noticed that the tracks are shorter compared to other Explosions projects, and they were probably in the mindset of creating a more atmospheric soundtrack type music. I hear them incorporating piano, synth, cello, some electronic type beat on there. First track, Wilderness, has this electric piano sound in the background that was very spacey. It reminded me a little bit of Tycho. And of course they had loud soft dynamic in the track where they'll get quiet and then loud again, but the song ends after some guitar melody. And as an intro track, I thought it was okay, and it gave me this expectation of more intense tracks soon after. And with the second track, the Ecstatics, I thought the way they made the guitar sound like different string instrument was really nice, but again they ended the track a little bit too abruptly. And to me that's an issue because Explosions in the Sky are so good at creating beginning, middle, and an end to their songs. But this time all I hear is beginning and an end without any sort of climax. But after a few listens, I start to think that this is their way of saying, hey, we're not what we used to be, and we want to really try to get into this new direction. Their third song, Tangle Formations, is definitely my favorite track off of this record. It starts off with a nice piano and this hard-hitting drum beat, and then it transitions into this layer of great guitar melody. I thought the song had a nice groove to it, and I really enjoyed it. The sound of Tangle Formation is similar to their older material, but honestly, to me, that song is a banger. It's a highlight for sure. After that is Logic of a Dream. It's the first single that was released off of this record. First listen didn't do much for me, and it still really doesn't. The song has a thunderous drum beat, a heavy guitar riff, and this suspenseful string transition that reminds me of an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And this song gets very intense, and then it transitions into this indie pop beat. And it was as if I was in a cloudy rainstorm and all of a sudden there's sunshine and flowers and shit. And they just keep jamming into this indie pop sound, and they don't do any changes after that. It's definitely a movie score material, so like I said, it's a completely new mindset that I never really expect from Explosions in the Sky album. Then it goes on to Disintegration Anxiety. I thought the riff on this song was cool. It has an L1011 vibe to it, but they keep using this riff until the end. And any other sound that I hear are these drones that they keep using throughout the album. Next is Losing the Light, a very atmospheric track with piano and cello melody. It made me feel like I was on a rocket ship in space, looking down at planet Earth. And I was ready to tune out, but then Infinite Orbit came on, and that's when it woke me up. The energetic drum beat to this song gave me an impression that I was going to get another Tangle Formation. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. The song ended up being just 2.5 minutes, and it ends. For some reason, I was fine with Colors in Space. This is also another atmospheric track, but it has a different feel to it compared to Losing the Light. I enjoy the composition and a consistent drum beat, and the build-up is nice and warm. I don't mind this track. It was on the same plateau the whole time, but overall it sounded fine. And Landing Cliff sounded great too. It had my attention when the drum beat kicked in. I like how they incorporate acoustic guitar into their music. It reminded me a little bit of that song Let Me Back In from Take Care, Take Care, Take Care.
Take Herpadur.
Overall, the idea of the album was very neat, but I feel like they were a little lost. Various sounds were reused in many tracks, and I thought the abrupt ending didn't do justice. The production was good and the instruments sounded great, but they didn't know where to take it. Honestly, if you're a fan of Explosions in the Sky, you might like this album. There were tracks that are underwhelming, but I hope they take these new ideas and really execute it like they did in other albums for their next projects. There are Explosions tracks that I still come back to, and I believe that they are capable of keeping their sound interesting. I would say the highlights for this album were Tangle Formations and Landing Cliffs. Those are my two favorite tracks. So what did you think of this album? You know, on a comment section below, tell me if you like their new direction. Also, was this your favorite Explosions? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, shit. Alright. Alright, alright, let's try this again. So what did you think of this album? Do you like their new direction? Also, did this become your new favorite Explosions in the Sky album? Let me know. And also recommend me more albums to review. That way I could take more breaks. And I like breaks. Like, comment, and subscribe!